So they moved to the Netherlands, right? And the first thing he called me and said was that I see why overseas players are more advanced and more ready than Americans. And I said, well, what you mean?
All right, welcome back to another After Dark, I guess. This is not going to be a regular thing, but tonight, again, something kind of came up. I was just starting to watch this video here. I got about 30 seconds in, and I'm like, this is something I definitely got to react to. Not just for my reaction, but I want to get your guys' input on this. A lot of you know Kobe Bryant. Before he passed away, he was talking about his experience in Europe learning basketball, learning the fundamentals, and he shared and voiced his concern about the way things are being run in the United States right now when it comes to basketball. And he was basically, well, it's looking like he's right. He was basically calling out the fact that everything is all training these days and no one's actually playing basketball. No one's actually, they're not scrimmaging much anymore. They're not working on fundamentals. It's all just like physical training. And this video here is going to talk about exactly that. We got Channing Frye, we've got Kendrick Perkins, and we've got Richard Jefferson here. And they're all going to talk about this issue that's going on. In a video titled Youth Basketball in America is Broken. It's disgusting. So I think they're really going to go for it on this one and just call this out. Because I'm telling you, I mean, if you look at all the major stars in the NBA right now, not all of them, but the majority now. First time in our history we can say the majority of stars are not homegrown. They're not from America. They're coming from elsewhere. So what are we doing wrong? And I think, once again, I think Kobe was dead right about this. Guys, this is from a channel called Road Trippin'. I'm going to link the original video down below in the description for you guys if you want to check this out. Shout out to channel members down there as well. Guys, like the video. Let's get right into it.
It is an American sport that we started. Dr. James Naismith, I said it since I was in college. Thank God for Dr. Naismith. All of us have these jobs and all of us have this money and it's changed our lives. Thank God for him. But the rest of the world is playing the game. And they are playing the game from how do we teach the game? How do we give people the proper skill level, right? If you think about Brazilians in soccer, you think about the French, the way they teach, like the way they teach football and why America is behind, the skill level of their youth before they even get, 8, 10, 12. That's why the greatest soccer players come from Brazil and from France and from England. It's like the way they train is far different than the way we train over here.
I agree 1,000%.
It's not even about the athletes. People say, well, if LeBron James played soccer. No, that's not what this is. It's the way they train. And that's why they consistently do it. It's not just that it's a popular sport. The way we train here in America, on top of, you add in the capitalism aspect of it from like the NIL and to the colleges, and you can only work out with your coaches 3 hours, or 2 hours a day, and that's the max you could. They cap this. Meanwhile, other countries have kids in academies at 15 years old practicing twice a day, every fucking day. You're in Europe. If you go play in Europe, you practice twice a day, every single day except for game days. Twice a day.
And you only play one time a week. Quick story, and then I'll give it to Shannon. One time a week, Shannon. Okay.
No.
Shannon. Okay.
Oh, I thought he said Shannon too. I don't know. I'm not sure who this is. I thought maybe that was Shannon.
It doesn't even sound right when you say it right.
Shannon.
So I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to give it to Shannon. All right, here's the thing, right? My middle son had a teammate. His name was Dax Mitchell, okay? Now, he was in the 4th grade. His dad worked at a refinery, and they end up having to move because the dad got a promotion. And when you're in the refinery industry, you go overseas for 3 or 4 years, and when you come back, you really, really at the top. But it's like that sacrifice part. So they moved to the Netherlands, right? And the first thing he called me and said was that I see why overseas players are more advanced and more ready than Americans. And I said, well, what you mean? He said, while we're sitting here every single weekend chasing AAU tournaments, they practice 2 times a day for an entire week. They play 1 time a week on a Saturday, 4 10-minute quarters, and that's it. Most of the time, they are training. They are training and they're training and they're training. We, on the other hand, we think, oh, AAU basketball.
5 games on a Saturday and 6 games on a Sunday.
And so just to piggyback and like on Richard's point, he's absolutely correct. Like I heard this and he was like, my guy whose name is like Dale, his dad, he was like, oh, I'm never moving back to the United States until my son is ready to go because I'm getting the best form. So just
real yeah, me too, Richard. Real quick, guys. Isn't it a little odd now that? Okay, I don't know how to preface. I'm just going to come out and say it. Remember, all the way until recently, I'd say before the last like 10 years. Anybody could get discovered. Anybody can get into the NBA from America, right? If you had the skill, you had the potential, you could get discovered. Therefore, you had a chance. Everything I've heard over the last like 10 years is that it's like a rich kids club now, because you have to get into these divisions, these programs, these training programs, these whatever the hell it is, like AAU, like he's talking about here. And you got to have a lot of money to do it now. Like, am I wild for thinking that we're probably missing out on a lot of talent? Because a lot of, once again, I'm just going to say it straight. A lot of the drive that came from many of our favorite basketball players came out of poverty. You know what I mean? The will to want to get a better life for your family. How many players have you heard? I want to buy my mom a house. Like, that's why I'm doing this. Like, my mom deserves better. I want to buy my mom a house. So I worked my butt off. I got into the NBA. Are we missing out on these potential players who could be potential killers in the NBA? Because they didn't grow up wealthy? I don't know. Let me know if it's just me. But I've been hearing this a lot over the last years that basically you don't have a shot unless your family has the money to back it. And that's so the opposite of what it used to be like.
Cam, real quick, I'm going to add one more thing to Perk, then you go. Why do you think so many NBA players' sons are making it, right? And I think that you're seeing more and more because NBA players, well, and again, this has been a long thing, but NBA players are looking at the way basketball is being taught, and they're like, fuck that. Yep. We're not. No. Oh. How many players do you see whose parents played the game? You look at like a Derek Lively and his mom played basketball, and it's not even like division. It doesn't even have to be. Like professional. But it's because they're seeing how this is being taught, and they recognize quickly, like, no, we have experience in this. We know this is how it needs to be taught. So those kids now get this double advantage. Like, I know how to train you, or I know how to teach you the game, because what you're being taught on the AAU level is not. That's why they say the worst parents of kids at sports are the ones that never played sports. The ones who played Division I, Division II, any sort of thing, those parents are always the most calm, for the most part, the most chill, except for Perk, and JJ, who get thrown out of games. But for the most part, those parents that aren't coaching are more chill, right? They know how to teach their kids the proper steps versus like, I want my kid to go shoot threes when he's 8 years old and he's got this crazy form, because like, no, I told little Rich, do not shoot threes. I don't care. Like, you at the park with your friends, do not shoot threes. Now he's 10 and now he can shoot threes and now his form looks proper. Yeah. Right. And even now I can tell his younger brother, who's 8, is like, hey buddy, do you see how your brother wasn't shooting threes at 8? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you're not strong enough. You shouldn't be doing that. But you see how he can make threes at 10? And it's like, yes. It's like, there's a proper level and a form.
Yo, Michael Jordan said the same thing in his youth camp that he was running. I reacted to that a little while back. maybe a couple weeks ago at this point. He told the kids the same thing. Don't shoot threes yet. You're not strong enough. Start from close to the basket. Work your way out. Gain strength.
There's smaller basketballs, and then as you get older, they're bigger because you give kids a smaller basketball, so they're not having to launch it, so it's not as heavy. So there's so many things that are just lost in, like, we're going to do dribbling drills and teach people how to full court press at 9 years old. It's like, what the? I took my kids out of that. Once I saw they spent an hour of practice full court pressing and learning how to break a press, which is something that's irrelevant once you get to 14 years old. Why are you spending time doing that? So these people can say, we went 42-9 last summer. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It is the worst part of basketball I've ever seen in my entire life. It's disgusting.
Okay, him pointing that out, though, that's not where I thought it was going to go, but that's actually really good insight. And it really does prove the point. So why are these ex-basketball players, kids, successful? Well, because they're being taught not to follow what they're being taught by the professionals. You know, like they're being taught to ignore what they're being trained on, which is crazy. But it's like, no, I can teach you better. I've been there for real.
I'm disgusted by it, man. I didn't know until I walked in. It was like, that wasn't even what the fuck we had. Right?
So 3 things I try to tell parents that I talk to, and we have buddies who are obviously NBA head coaches, NBA assistant coaches, NBA GMs, college head coaches, college assistants, high school. So I ask all around because you know what? Like, I got a certain motor from the NBA of like timelines, right? And that timeline is you got to get as good as you can get every single day, no matter what, right? But the expectation for these kids nowadays is your parents pay for a trainer, and the trainer tells your parents, yeah, your kid's going to go D1, just work out with me. But then that kid might not grow, or that kid might be slow developing. And now that kid mentally, let's say he makes JV for 2 years. He's a freshman, sophomore, makes JV. That kid in his mind's thinking, I failed. And I try to tell parents, his development is not necessarily where he is, but how he approaches every single day. And I said, you know, we're at an 8th grade tournament, and these parents, some of these other parents of other schools are like hardcore. And I go, do y'all think there are coaches here?
Yes.
Like, college coaches have enough budget to recruit their own players, to recruit the portal players, and to recruit top 100 seniors or JUCO players. So unless you are a top 50 senior, 75, maybe even 100, you ain't getting a lot of coaches to go see you. So no one cares.
Not in 8th grade.
Yeah.
No,
not in
That's
8th grade.
crazy to have these expectations in the 8th grade, man. Even high school's wild, in my opinion.
9th grade, not in 10th grade, unless you are that good. So for me, and I'll be quick about this, 1, be patient with your kids.
Please.
Be patient with them. Teach them the complete game. And that is as simple as it is. Overseas, they teach you how to move without the ball. I'll watch these kids do a workout. These fuckers dribble the ball the whole time. And when they go in the game, they don't know spacing.
Yep.
They don't know how to sprint the court. They don't know how to set a screen. Do you know what's the best thing now? I told my daughter Margot, she's 12, about to be 13.
They don't know how to deal with double teams either.
She plays 3-on-3. It's the fucking
3-on-3
best.
is the best basketball.
It's the best. It is the best. Everyone learns how to pass.
Do you remember Hoop It Up, Gus Macker? Remember the Hoop It Up? So there was 3-on-3. There was more
freaks always won.
So there was more 3-on-3 tournaments. That's especially on the West Coast where Chae and I grew up. I don't know about Texas or Ohio, but there was always 3-on-3 tournaments, right? I did it at the NBA Jam.
Nice.
In Phoenix, Arizona, when they had the All-Star game in '94.
Yeah, we did.
They had a 3-on-3 contest inside the convention center that was a part of like the NBA whole thing.
Oh, everybody participated in
that. Shit was awesome. But 3-on-3 basketball teaches you to move without the ball. It teaches you to pass and cut. Me and my best friends would have like plays. We made up our own plays, like a give and go. Like that's what we were going, like just things like that. But basketball is being taught so wrong here in America, right?
It's
It's
hard.
being taught, and that's why you see more athletes, not just professionals, but Division I parents that have experience of like, that's not how you teach basketball, right? But we're also the most calm. One dad asked me, he's like, Richard, how are you so calm, like at all these games? I just sit back and kind of smile, laugh, because I'm like, because no one's losing a job.
Yeah.
Because no one's gaining a scholarship. No one's here to watch them other than their parents. The only thing I asked my son after the game was, did you have fun?
Did you get
I don't care if you won. Did you have fun?
Did you try your best and have fun? That was a great video. One thing I'm surprised they actually touched on, I forgot which one it was, whether it was Channing or Jeff, was the stunted growth thing. Guys, that's real. I have a friend of mine, very, very close friend. Their daughter is in gymnastics, and she was a little girl. And it's a very common thing that the trainings that they're putting these kids through often lead to stunted growth. Like some spinal issues, stuff like that. Just like prolonged physical issues that happen because they're basically pushing them from way too young of an age. They're expecting way too much from a very young age. And it looks like we're doing that in basketball now. I'd say it's definitely one negative about, people coming out of high school. And I'm not dissing anybody who did, like LeBron or Kobe or, Garnett or anything. Like, they did what they did. But I think that's setting a bad precedence. So by the time kids are not even at high school level, like middle school, there's pressure as though there's scouts out there looking for you. It shouldn't be the case. At that point, you should still be learning the game. You shouldn't be out there demanding perfection out of yourself and playing the game by the numbers with the analytics. Like at that point, you should be learning and just hammering down the fundamentals. But like they said here, they don't know what they're doing. They'll practice dribbling forever and practice shooting from the same spot over and over and over again. But as far as team basketball goes, they don't know how to do it anymore. And this stuff that we've been complaining about, oh yeah, we're old heads, we're complaining. No, it's because we saw something else before. It used to not be like this. Where do we used to train? At the damn park, or lunch break at school. Like, that's where we were practicing. And what were we doing? We were running 5-on-5s. We were running 3-on-3s, 2-on-2s, whatever we had to do. But guess what we weren't doing? Just sitting around, just dribbling all day. Like, yeah, of course, we all had our individual training that we did when we're on our own, but we were salivating for games. Pick-up games with anybody. It was a daily event for us growing up. I'll speak for myself, at least. It was for me and all my friends. And hell, I had some friends across the way that went to a different school growing up, and they had a rec center out there. So they had a gym, and they were hooping in there every single day. Me, I was hooping outside, which sucks in the desert. But hey, man, if you can hoop and it's 110 degrees outside, you can hoop in any condition, is what I figured. But yeah, it's very interesting to see these ex-NBA players are speaking out against it, because however we got to this point, and honestly, I think it's analytics that brought us to this point, it's not working because we can sit here all day and just say like, oh yeah, well, Europe is just they're getting better fast. Yeah, that's easy. But the way I see it, we're getting worse and they're getting better. And that's what makes it look like they're getting so much better than the United States players. That's what's causing the gap. We're losing our fundamentals, they're gaining fundamentals. And the fundamentals of the game, not very many players have it left, because of the players that were still around, that were trained the old-fashioned way. They're all retiring now, or they've already retired. So I don't know what the future's going to look like, but all I got to say is Kobe Bryant warned us. I wasn't on top of it until I heard Kobe talk about it. And after that, I started really kind of thinking about it and paying attention to what I was watching, as far as international play versus, United States play. And I could just see he's dead right. He is just dead right. And Yeah, major complaint of mine for a long time has been, like, after Steph Curry, who's the last person you really know that's great playing off the ball? People only know how to play if they got the ball in their hands and are dribbling all day, doing their best James Harden impression, whatever, dribble, step back, three. Like, come on now, we've seen it a million times, over and over again. But when was the last time outside of Steph, because Steph is a wizard playing off the ball, but outside of him, who's really dominating off ball? You know, running through screens, you know, catch and shoot. And also, can you name a handful of players that can deal with a double team well? Because I can't. And some of our greatest shooting guards, scoring assassins in the league, they crumble the second they get a double team. What's that tell me? They're not playing enough actual basketball. You know what I mean? Because if you were in the park, at least during my time, if you were in the park and say like we're playing threes, 3-on-3, right? And I'm busting ass. Like I'm scoring. One guy can't stop me. Guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna start doubling me. What's that gonna cause me to do? That's gonna force me to make some passes. You know, look for the open man, make the reads, be ahead of the double team, and pass on the opposite end of the double team. You know, read where the double's coming from and punish them for it. I wouldn't learn that from just dribbling the ball all day or shooting from one spot. You have to actually get yourself in these scenarios and figure a way out of it, you know? Anyways, guys, that's all. I wanted to share this with you. I know this is super late. It's probably going to get like 20 views, but it's late. But I just wanted to get this one out there because my backlog is ridiculous, and I knew if I didn't do it right now, and this is important, I would probably forget about it. So this was important for me to talk about because, once again, this is the game I love. I love basketball, and I've been really concerned for many years and the condition that basketball is in the United States, and this just confirms everything that I've been worried about. Anyways, you guys, be water, my friends.